Hi, good afternoon, everyone. You are all very welcome to today's webinar. We are delighted to be hosting this webinar, this information session today, in collaboration with the Skillnet Climate Ready Academy. We are here this morning to introduce both the Sustainability Leaders Programme and the new Energy Leaders Programme for Enterprise Ireland clients. The registration links for both programmes will be shared in the chat, so I'll do that now and make sure that everyone has them, and feel free to take a look at them as we run through the presentation. The first there being for the Sustainability Leaders Programme and the second link there for the Energy Leaders Programme. So my name is Ali Nolan. I'm part of the Sustainability Solutions team here at Enterprise Ireland. Please note that today's webinar is being recorded. We will share the recording and all of the slides afterwards, and it will also be available to watch back on the Enterprise Ireland website. The session today will run for approximately 30 minutes, followed by 15 minutes for questions and answers. If you have any questions throughout the duration of the session, please feel free to add them into the chat and we'll aim to address them at the end. Today's session is designed to give you a clear overview of both the Sustainability Leaders Programme and our new Energy Leaders Programme, including their structure, content, and the value they deliver for your business. We'll also explore why businesses need to act now, looking at the key drivers, risks, and opportunities shaping the sustainability and energy agenda. Later in the webinar, we will take a look at some of the Enterprise Ireland clients and their case studies who have completed these programs already. They're examples of companies that are already making strides in this area, demonstrating how a strategic approach to sustainability and energy planning can deliver tangible business benefits regardless of your business size or sector. So why are we offering these programs to our clients, and why does it matter for your business? Organizations today continue to navigate rising energy costs, increasing regulatory expectations, and growing customer and supply chain demands. Building internal capability in sustainability and energy management is becoming increasingly important to remain competitive and to support your growth. Programs like these are designed to support businesses and employees in developing practical, strategic plans to strengthen competitiveness, resilience, improve business performance, as well as identify new opportunities, new markets, and new customers. Since 2023, we have had clients of all sizes and sectors complete the Sustainability Leaders Programme with much success, and we are very excited to offer a new training option for clients in the form of the Energy Leaders Programme. We are delighted today to welcome our guest speaker, Maria Kelly, the Director of the Skillnet Climate Ready Academy, who will guide you through both the Sustainability Leaders Programme and the Energy Leaders Programme. These programmes are fully funded by Skillnet Ireland, co-funded by the Government of Ireland and the European Union, and delivered exclusively for Enterprise Ireland clients. They will commence online in September 2026, with another session of the Sustainability Leaders Programme running from October 2026. They will both run over a period of 6 to 10 weeks. So without further ado, I will hand you over to Maria Kelly to get started.
Thank you, Ali. Can you hear me? Great. Yeah, it's funny, you started talking and my dog started barking, so I really hope that there isn't going to be barking in the background. Anyway, good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here to introduce you to our Sustainability Leaders Programme and our Energy Leaders Programme, which has been offered to Enterprise Ireland clients for the first time. I'll just share my screen. This is the bit where I always get a little nervous, but hopefully everything will go okay. Now, are you able to see that presentation?
Yeah, looks good. There's a bit, that grey box is at the top, but it's all good. I can just continue. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we have a mysterious grey box, so apologies for that, guys, but I can't seem to get rid of it. Hopefully, it won't impact the presentation. But look, as Ali said, I'm going to talk to you about those two programs, but I'm going to talk to you about them in the context of building resilient and competitive businesses. And we're delighted to have this partnership with Enterprise Ireland, which has been running now for over 3 years and has been hugely successful. And as Ali said, both these programs are fully funded by Skillnet Ireland. Okay, me one sec while it moves on. There we go. Apologies. So look, why climate matters for business. You're on this call, you probably already realize. But one thing I always like to share in presentations, because I think it really tells an interesting story. Now, it's not terribly clear, but you'll get enough from it. You may be aware of this. The World Economic Forum assesses global risks every year. This is the one from earlier this year. And they survey thousands of people across business, academia, politics, NGOs to assess short-term perception of short-term and long-term risks. So obviously short-term is on the left, long-term on the right. No surprise, given the crazy times we're living in, short term on the left has a bit of every colour. There we're talking economic, environmental, geopolitical, societal, and technological risks. I mean, we really are living in turbulent geopolitical times. And I've been monitoring this for the last number of years, and what I've seen is the environmental risks have reduced. Meanwhile, we look at the longer term risks over the next 10 years, and 5 out of the 10 are directly related to climate change and biodiversity loss. And certainly some of the others will be indirectly related. What's interesting here, and I think it says an awful lot in terms of how we grapple with this issue, those risks, that 10-year graphic on the right has changed very little over the last number of years. So there's a recognition of these risks, but because we're so distracted, and understandably distracted by all that's going on at the moment in our world and that's impacting you and your business, it's taking our attention away. So we consistently look on climate change and biodiversity loss as a risk that's 10 years down the road, like it's always 10 years away. Whereas we know really when you stop and think about it, actually the reality is it's here and now. And a large part of the reason why we're experiencing the kind of turbulence we're experiencing is related to the fact that we haven't weaned off fossil fuels or progressed in our decarbonisation. So it's just an interesting thing to kind of, I suppose, make a step back and take a look and go, right, if we get too focused on individual problems and not look at the whole picture, we might not be prepared. But meanwhile, we are seeing a changing narrative. Certainly, I'm noticing, and all our team are, when we're talking to businesses and to government, that it's been framed, climate change, less as an environmental issue that's, you know, kind of almost a CSR initiative and a nice to do for a company. And it's very much coming in terms of an economic and financial issue. Mitigation has been the talk, you know, getting to net zero, still extremely important. But because climate impacts are already here, and we know we've all look at the flooding we experienced, particularly on the East Coast earlier this year, and we're heading into an El Nino period, which is extreme, and this is going to be an extreme period, which is going to cause severe warming. There are going to be other impacts coming. So adaptation is key. And we really need, as businesses and as government, to start thinking about adaptation and preparing and making sure our businesses are resilient to these risks. So decarbonising, still very important, but because of that adaptation piece, resilience. They always say, you know, the less you mitigate, the more you have to adapt. And we know from recent reports, we haven't. We're making progress, but maybe not fast enough. So what's changing for your business? I'm sure you're experiencing this already, exposure to supply chain disruption and cost shocks. That can be down to the geopolitical issues, but there's always indirect line back to what's happening with climate breakdown and biodiversity loss. Many businesses are finding if they don't have proper sustainability plans and strategies in place that they're losing out in tenders and contracts. There's increased pressure coming from customers and regulators. So there's an expectation that businesses lead in this area. So not being ready for this is leading to reactive decision making instead of a planned response. And obviously that's not a good place for a business to be. So climate change is no longer, I mean, a number of years ago, it was very much framed as a regulatory issue, particularly with CSRD. It's now become a commercial reality for businesses and something that businesses realize they have to tackle. So we're looking at global risk to operational reality and how it impacts you on the ground. It's not an easy issue to tackle. I mean, the challenge of sustainability, it does confront us with a complex of interrelated problem. And we found that from research we've done in the academy, where business owners have said, yeah, it's difficult because it's hard to tackle one problem when they're all interrelated. So it's a new skill in terms of that systems thinking to be able to step back and understand how everything's interrelated and take a holistic view of the problem and then integrate it into your business. But climate change and nature impacts are cost drivers, and they are currently affecting pricing, procurement, and investment decisions. So leadership is critical. But it cuts across operations, procurement, marketing, and finance, basically all aspects of your business. So we always say this is a top-down and a bottom-up issue. It is a company-wide issue where everybody needs to be upskilled. And there is a capability gap. What we're finding is the skills gap in businesses is leading to a business risk. Demand for sustainability skills is outstripping supply. Research has found that still 70% of firms have no dedicated sustainability lead, and many companies still lack clear plans and targets. And unfortunately, in Ireland, while we are catching up, we are behind our European peers, and that we're not in the cold face of climate change as yet compared to what's happening in Europe. So response can be unclear or fragmented, and this creates risk in your organization, customer retention, certainly in compliance and growth. So what's the challenge that we're finding businesses are confronted with? And it's that ambition capability gap, or that ambition implementation gap. So turning strategy into action. And actually, we tend to have people that come to our programs very much in two camps. They're either right at the beginning of this and haven't created their strategy yet, or they have ambition and a strategy and they're struggling with implementing it. And we know that can be a struggle for a lot of businesses. So our programs deal very effectively with both those areas. So what's needed is a clear understanding of business impacts and dependencies. It's not just looking at your own business. As I'm sure you're aware, you have to be able to look at your whole value chain, understand what you're dependent on in your business and what risks you're exposed to. So being able to identify those risks, but it's not all about risk. And interesting, we find when we analyze the outputs from the action plans that participants in our programs really start to think about opportunities and realize that there's opportunities here. That deep dive look across my value chain and into my business will always present opportunities. And at a minimum, it'll give you opportunities for finding efficiencies and saving on cost. Then it's about, well, first of all, getting your baselines and defining your goals and your KPIs so you can track and measure progress. And a key part of any sustainability plan is engaging externally with stakeholders. And then with putting all that together into a practical, structured action plan. And that's what you'll get out of both of these programs. So introducing what both these programs are about and what you'll get from them. Just to let you know, in the Academy, we do offer 4 accredited programs. They're aligned to the core topical areas of CSRD. And today we're going to look at sustainability leaders and energy leaders. We also have a waste and circular economy and biodiversity leaders. They all come with a level 7 university accredited micro-credential. So how our programs work. So they're designed specifically to help you build internal capabilities. So this is one that we keep stressing. These are areas where you need to build the internal capability in order to adapt and build that resilience. It can't be outsourced to an external consultancy. Helps you develop a clear strategy, translate that strategy into practical applications and practical actions, and then provide you with the framework for strategy development. And this framework here is very much aligned with CSRD and the VSME standards. So it's looking at governance, your strategy, your impacts, risks, and opportunity management, and then baselining and setting those targets and metrics that help you progress through your plan. So the way the Sustainability Leaders Program is structured, it's six live 2-hour online workshops. So it's online, but the workshops are live. It's 8 weeks in duration, and as Ali said, there'll be 2 in the autumn for EI clients, but the first one starts Wednesday, the 9th of September to Wednesday, the 28th of October, and they usually run from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The content is built around real business challenges, and most importantly, and this is a key part of our programs, they're very much built on peer learning. We use what we call flipped classroom style. So it's not all about being lectured at from a tutor, very strong focus on that peer-to-peer engagement, breakout rooms, discussion, learning from each other. And another strength is it's cross-sectoral. So you're learning not only from other businesses, but from businesses from other sectors that you may not ordinarily engage with. It's also designed to be practical and manageable, so alongside your day-to-day workloads. But we would say if you're signing up, commit to those 2 hours and engage and give it your time. It can be obvious when somebody has the camera on, but they're still doing their emails or talking to other people. So look, just block out the 2 hours so you can get the most from the program. And you can see there what each workshop deals with. There's intro, then looking at your sustainability priorities. The most important is integrating sustainability. So it doesn't sit as a standalone plan. It's integrated into the organizational strategy. Then defining and monitoring your goals. So that's the baselining and the KPIs. Communicating and reporting. It's important to communicate about what you're doing. And then you present at the end. And that's presenting to your peers. So you get to see other people's presentations. And that's presenting your action plan. And throughout each of these workshops, you're working on the action plan with the tutor. So the key learnings, SDG mapping to business projects. So this is a lot of this. The Sustainability Leaders Program covers the UN SDGs, and we consistently get really positive feedback about that, plus the CSRD and VSME alignment, that it really helps the learners to align what they're doing to these international frameworks. And the UN SDGs gives a really good way for people to kind of link up with what thousands of other businesses are doing, and obviously lots of benefits to the CSRD and VSME alignment, particularly around materiality and especially double materiality. So that's that holistic view of your operations, the outside in and the inside out, as they say. As I've mentioned a number of times, the KPIs, metrics, baselining, and then implementation tools and processes. And the action plan is very much designed to help you implement your actions and the risk and opportunity identification and strategy for those. Just one quick bit of feedback. The course was excellent. Hard to believe so much was delivered in just 12 hours in a very engaging, learner-centric way. Then we look at the Energy Leaders Program. It's just one less workshop. It's slightly shorter, 5 live 2-hour online workshops, so 6 weeks in duration. And this one starts on Tuesday, the 8th of September to Tuesday, the 20th of October. And very much the focus on changing behaviours in the workplace and helping to lower your operating costs while conserving energy. So the workshops, introduction to energy management, mapping, metering and monitoring energy use, energy baselining and targets, and then developing your energy management action plan and presenting it out. I should say at this point, we have funding to cover 2 people per company per calendar year. So if you are interested in doing one of the programs and a colleague wants to do Energy Leaders or the other program, there's funding for 2 of you. Or if 2 of you want to do one of the programs like Sustainability Leaders, then you'll have to wait till the next calendar year for Energy Leaders. Hopefully that makes sense. But we can talk about it more in the Q&A. Just the key learnings on this program is helping to achieve energy efficiency and improving your environmental performance. You will have a bespoke energy management action plan for your business. Again, the KPIs, metrics, and baselining, helping to convert your commitment into clear action and build the resilience of your business. As one participant said, this course helped me understand our energy usage, where we had wastage and where we could increase efficiency. And the result was real savings for the business, which obviously will be even more impactful given what's going on at the moment. And additional benefits, I mentioned these programs are university accredited. We do offer, if you do choose after you complete these programs to go on and do another one of our programs, if you complete 3 out of 4 of the programs, they can be stacked and you'd be eligible to apply for a level 7 certificate in sustainable resource management from the University of Limerick. So you're learning to benefit your business, but also your own personal progression as well. So in practice, just a couple of quotes that I pulled from previous participants on these programs so you can get some real world examples. And then if technology works for me, I'll play a quick video so you can hear from live from some other participants. So as one said, the tool we rely on most is the double materiality assessment methodology because it brought full structure and clarity to how we assess environmental, social and financial impacts across our entire value chain. The structured approach helped us assess current performance, identify priority areas and establish clear action plans. We also gained a deeper understanding of stakeholder engagement. That's that key piece, being able to engage externally. And the emphasis on collaboration. I mean, this isn't a solo endeavour. And it's highlighted how external partnerships can enhance accountability and accelerate progress. Another participant gained a clear understanding of how sustainability integrates into daily operations and long-term strategy. It highlighted the importance of employee engagement, data tracking, and aligning with the international standards like the SDGs and CSRD. Helped us move from individual environmental initiatives to a fully integrated sustainability strategy grounded in evidence, essentially allowing us to run sustainability as a business enabler, not as a standalone activity. Real world follow-up showed me the diversity of understanding and maturity levels around sustainability in our supply chain and highlighted the opportunity we have to lead by example and support our partners in adopting more sustainable practices. I thought it was worth actually reading out those bits of feedback because they really do reinforce what I was saying early in the presentation. Just in terms of next steps, but before I play that video, so a reminder of the start dates: Sustainability Leaders Programme, Wednesday the 9th of September, Energy Leaders, Tuesday the 8th of September, and the closing date for both is the 4th of September. I know that seems like ages away, but also time seems to fly by as well, so you may as well register now. Both links, as Ali said, are in the chat box for the 2 programs. There are a number of pre and post program questionnaires. They're linked to the funding, so critical in order for you to secure your place. So I would say register now and secure your place, and then clear your calendar. As I said, make sure those times are blocked off because when your place is confirmed, you'll get the schedule of programs. And then make sure you get recognition for your learning. Apply for a micro-credential and continue towards the level 7 certificate if that's something that appeals to you. I will attempt to finish off with the video and then we'll have Q&A. Just to say my colleague Kirsty O'Kelly is on the call with me. She manages our training operations, so she is likely to be the one to answer all your questions. And also on this video, you will be getting a sneak peek of our new branding, which we hope to launch in the next week. And this video will be on our website. So fingers crossed it works. If it doesn't, we'll abandon and go straight to questions.
Climate change is no longer a distant environmental issue. It is a material business reality. Every year, more extreme weather conditions have critical implications for Irish enterprises. These risks are already a daily reality, impacting supply chains, rising costs, and stricter reporting requirements. As Ireland's national initiative for green skills and climate resilience, the Skillnet Climate Ready Academy bridges the gap between climate risk and business opportunity, enabling enterprises to develop the green skills and talent required to adapt, mitigate risks, build resilience, and enhance competitiveness in a changing world.
Knowledge is power. This programme has given me a solid foundation. I'm now ready to discuss sustainability with our clients, and it is of great importance to some of our biggest ones.
The programme's allowed me to revisit key aspects of the business, such as our stakeholders' needs and expectations, the business risks and opportunities, and main drivers of sustainability within the company.
Our expert-led online training programmes have upskilled thousands of professionals across every sector, sparking the transformative changes that are strengthening our economy.
The training really increased our confidence by giving us the framework we needed to move sustainability beyond compliance, to actually integrating it into the business. It helped us move from separate environment initiatives to a fully integrated sustainability strategy based on evidence.
Overall, the training helped me to connect climate awareness with practical workplace actions such as energy efficiency, waste reduction, and responsible equipment management.
The transition to a low-carbon and digitally enabled economy is well underway. Irish companies that invest in upskilling are not just surviving the transition, they are positioned to thrive. Join the thousands of Academy graduates leading the change. Visit skillnetclimatereadyacademy.ie.
Okay, I'll stop sharing there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Maria. Brilliant presentation. I definitely want to take a closer look at that World Economic Forum slide. Really interesting. And yeah, thank you for the overview of all the programs and as well to the Skillnet Climate Ready Academy for continued really successful partnership. So I will run through a very short presentation from the Enterprise Ireland side, just kind of speaking to a few case studies. And then what I'll do is we can open the floor to any questions that you have. So I'm just going to share my screen. So I hope everyone can see that nice and clearly. Okay, so sustainability supports. My name is Ali Nolan. I'm on the sustainability solutions team for anyone who came in late there. You're all very welcome. Thank you all for your attention today. So yeah, sustainability supports Enterprise Ireland. I wanted to share again the upcoming dates so that they're there. They're kind of faded. I didn't pick a very good color for the Energy Leaders Programme links, but they are there and I'll share them afterwards. So as Maria said, programmes kicking off in September, the 8th and the 9th of September, respectively, for the Energy Leaders Programme and the Sustainability Leaders Programme. And we'll have another cohort of the Sustainability Leaders Programme then in October. And like that, we can add further cohorts as well, subject to interest, and they'll be kind of continuing on into 2027 as well. A reminder then again that you can only complete one of these per annum. So if you are currently, or if you have just completed the Sustainability Leaders Programme with us this year, you'll have to wait until 2027 to complete the Energy Leaders Programme. And like that, if you undertake the Energy Leaders Programme in September, you'll have to wait until the following year to 2027 to do the Sustainability Leaders Programme. So I hope that's clear, but we can answer any questions in the chat if it's not. Okay, so in terms of our Enterprise Ireland supports, many of you may be kind of aware of these, but I just said I'd run through them to kind of give a broader context to the supports that are there for our client companies. So this isn't a linear process, but I have it in a line. Usually companies come in on the left-hand side of the screen in the understand box there. So in terms of the understanding of sustainability, we do this through our training programs, our education programs, and our webinars. So ultimately, we want businesses to kind of understand what makes sense for them at this point in time in the context of sustainability. And we then build on this into the begin phase there, which you can see with grant funding. So we support further capacity building through the Climate Action Voucher, the Green Start, and the Green Plus supports. And we look at sustainability projects there too. We then move into the kind of longer term strategy design and planning piece. So this is with more kind of in-depth supports, such as a strategic consultancy, our metering and tracking systems grant there as well, and R&D to kind of help build out robust data-driven strategies or engage in more intensive projects. Then the last piece there is the do piece. So we support companies who are all ready to go with sustainability and ready to take kind of larger steps in terms of carbon reduction or green innovation through these capital grants and investment supports. So importantly, companies can engage with us at any stage. You can come in at the begin stage and then move back into the understand piece. So you can kind of build out your education there. It's not always linear, but supports can be accessed based on where you're at a given point in time. Overall, we aim to provide practical end-to-end support, helping businesses move forward in a way that works best for them. So that looks different for everyone, and everyone's coming at it from a different perspective. So next, then we have just kind of again an overview of where you might be within this. So starting on the left, we have our startup companies, our high potential startups, also known as HPSUs, moving into the SMEs and then the larger companies. And this kind of shows what are the different steps these companies are taking at the different stages of growth. And ultimately, you can see the benefits all out there along the bottom, and Maria touched on them already in terms of competitiveness and growth, which is what at Enterprise Ireland we're always focused on. So the kind of market access piece, reducing your costs, brand reputations, supply chain resilience, etc. So as companies kind of grow through each of the stages, the priorities shift slightly, but not always. And sometimes it can be great being able to embed everything from the very beginning, but we're also absolutely here to support companies that are very much established, but are looking to retrospectively incorporate sustainability into their strategies. So I said what I would do is include just two quick examples. I think it's two, maybe it's three, on companies that have come through these programs and the benefits that they've reaped from them. So the first one we have is Voya. So they're an SME. Many of you might be familiar with them. In the health and beauty sector, they're based in Sligo, and they used a combination of Enterprise Ireland supports to structure their sustainability journey and begin their work towards then achieving B Corp certification. So they began through capability building internally through the Sustainability Leaders Programme and also our Sustainability Kickstarter programme, which is still available to partake in if anyone's interested. We have another session taking place in about 2 weeks' time in June. So this enabled them to undertake a B impact assessment, identify their gap analysis, and kind of make plans, targeted plans to implement across ESG areas. As a result, then they were able to avail of a Green Start to kind of further figure out their strategy and develop that internal capability. And then they achieved B Corp status, which many of you might be aware of. It's a great certification, especially for FMCG goods. And it's a great kind of example then of achieving that, working towards it on a step-by-step process, and the tangible outcome that that now has for their sustainability performance, but also for their brand and the marketing piece there too. Another example is iSupply that I wanted to mention. They previously came on the Sustainability Leaders Programme as well. They had come on the Kickstarter too, and they then went on to avail of other grant support in the form of the Climate Action Voucher and the Green Start as well. So they've done a number of different fabulous things since completing these programs and availing of the grant supports there. So they've become ISO certified. ISO 14001, as many of you might know, is the EMS certification. They've reduced their scope 1 and 2 emissions. They've hired a full-time sustainability officer, undergone some circular transformation, and they've won a bunch of different awards as a result of their efforts, which again is brilliant from a kind of positioning piece, from a customer example piece as well. So yeah, really, really great. And then last but not least, Core, who are kind of the gold standard when it comes to sustainability in Ireland. So they're an SME, manufacturing construction products and systems, so insulation mainly. But they have a clear target to reach net zero, and this became kind of a clear commitment for them. So they underwent the same programs in terms of the building capability, the Kickstarter, the Sustainability Leaders Program, and then they availed of a few different green supports, grant supports. So in the form of the Green Start, the Green Plus, and I didn't mention, but you can stack those Green Starts and Green Pluses as well. And then the energy monitoring and tracking. So they're also one of the first companies in Ireland to develop and publish a VSME Alliance Sustainability Framework. So they've really showed kind of unbelievable leadership in structured reporting with sustainability and in the steps they've taken and their commitment to sustainability. So they cover, scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions as well, which is brilliant to see. So that I think is everything from my side. I'll open the floor to questions, so feel free to pop them into the chat. I'm going to stop sharing so that we can see everyone. And I don't see any in the chat, but I do see a few in the questions and answer box. So we have one in from Ross. Is it possible to do the 3 micro-credentials at the same time? So unfortunately, it's not possible. You are allowed to undertake, based on the funding, this is kind of the background to it, but you're able to undertake one of each of the courses per annum. So as I said, if you do the Sustainability Leaders Program this year, you'll have to wait till next year to do the Energy Leaders Program. So yeah, unfortunately not possible to do it at the same time. Next, then we have a question from Kerry. Would the sustainability course assist event management companies who are trying to identify and work with contractors, be they product, service, or venues that have sustainability charters in their business? So from a first point of view, and I can let Kirsty and Maria chime in if they have any kind of specific ideas here, but we definitely have these programs open to all of our clients, all sectors, all sizes. They are applicable. You definitely need to come from your own perspective and bring that to the courses themselves. So, and we're absolutely there to kind of help you figure that out. And help you figure out what your priorities are. But I definitely wouldn't be turning anyone from any sector or any company size away. There's always a place for everyone, and hopefully like that you'll find huge amount of benefit from it. But is there anything kind of additional there, Maria or Kirsty?
Well, what I would say, and I'm sure Kirsty then will connect to it, is look, you come on the program, you'll develop an action plan for your business. But the way I read that question, was it in vendor selection, looking at their own supply chain, that they would then be able to prioritize from going on the program what they want when they're selecting their own vendors. So I think it would really help them in that regard, because obviously, you need to look beyond your own operations to your supply chain. So just to back up what you said, I think it definitely would help first in getting their own action plan, but then in knowing what they need to look for with their suppliers as well.
Yeah.
I know, Kirsty, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I might just add that that's an excellent question. It's straight to the heart and straight to the difficulty of Scope 3 that you will learn on the program. So Scope 3 is really understanding your supply chain and how to partner with everybody there. And that's your question was right on there. Our tutors are very knowledgeable on Scope 3 and the other scopes too. So this would come under that, and definitely worthwhile of coming on the program. I might just mention, Alison, just on separately as well, you had core insulation and air packs there. They've actually also completed the Energy Leaders program, and that has helped them a lot in their energy audits.
Brilliant. Yeah. And like that, hopefully when we run this webinar this time next year, we'll have loads of examples of people who've benefited from the Energy Leaders program.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Another question there from Sandra. I love the sound of the waste and circular economy one, and I'm curious when this one will run. So from an Enterprise Ireland standpoint, we're currently building out, as you can see with the Energy Leaders program, are the programs that are available to attend as EI clients. But then like that, do you want to speak to separate participation there, Kirsty or Maria, on participating in the waste and circular economy?
Yeah, sure. The waste and circular economy, you will find it on our website, and you can register there and apply for the full funding. and we will get back to you then. It's also starting in September or early October in the autumn, so feel free to look into that and apply.
Yeah, I think just to note, you'd be on a public course, not with EI clients, but you'd be with other companies. And if you did do the waste and circular economy, you wouldn't be able to do the sustainability leaders or energy leaders, as Ali had said. You'd have to wait till the following year to do one of the others.
I might just add to all of that this caveat or one per annum is based on the fully funded model where Skillnet Ireland funds your training fully. If you wish to fast track it, you can apply for match funding, which is 50%, and we'll talk about that separately, or you can email me if you wish to go for that match funding route.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, we have another question in from Barry John. So regarding the Sustainability Leaders Programme, you mentioned applying for a micro-credential and continuing towards a level 7 certificate. What does this look like? So I can answer in the first instance and I'll pass it over. But anyone who completes the Sustainability Leaders Programme will have a micro-credential that can be stacked then towards a level 7 in Sustainable Resource Management from the University of Limerick. So if you complete the SLP, Sustainability Leaders Programme, that is one programme. And then you'd have to undertake 2 others and complete those, whether it be the Energy Leaders Programme, whether it be the Waste and Circular Economy Programme, Biodiversity Leaders Programme. So if you do 3 of the 4, you are then eligible to apply. Is that correct, Maria and Kirsty?
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically 3 out of our 4 leaders programs can be stacked. And then once you've completed those, we will provide you with registration link for University of Limerick, which is kind of closed link. You can't find it in their website. And we work in partnership with University of Limerick, which is our official accrediting body for our leaders programs. And that's basically how it works. And if you have more questions, you can email me as well through our website, through the question or queries link.
Yeah, perfect. And like that, my email's on these slides as well, and you maybe will have received emails from me already. So if you want to get to Kirsty through me, that's no problem as well. Another question in, I'm a student at the moment and will be working for a renewable energy company in September. Can I also apply for the Energy Leaders Programme? So through this setup with Enterprise Ireland, you have to be an Enterprise Ireland client company to come into the EI client only cohorts. But Kirsty, is there an option to complete it separately?
The only caveat that I see in that question is that you mentioned you're a student. You must be an employee. So if you're a student and an employee, you apply as the employee. But if you're applying as a student, Skillnet Climate Ready Academy cannot fund your applications, and that's basically, we are under the Department of Enterprise, and that's the rule there.
Perfect. So it might be one then once you're in a company to bring it up as an option and then apply once you're in it.
That's it.
Perfect. Another question. We've got lots of questions in today, which is great. Aisling, which course would you recommend for a company importer/distributor starting their process? Personally, I think the Sustainability Leaders Programme is a fantastically comprehensive introduction to sustainability. It'll cover, as Maria mentioned, all of the UN SDGs, and you can really kind of distill what your priorities are and get kind of real kind of crystallization as to where you need to go next. That would be my recommendation. Does the Skillnet Climate Ready Academy agree?
A resounding yes from both of us.
Yeah.
I think I can see Kirsty nodding. Yeah, start with sustainability leaders, and then you're going into the topic specific areas after that. By all means, start with the topic if you have your strategy, but sustainability leaders is the best place to start.
I agree.
Perfect. Great. Okay, well, I think that's everything from the question standpoint. I don't see any other questions in there. But if anyone does have additional questions or they crop up later on, feel free to reach out to Green at enterprise-ireland.com or to myself. My email will be included in the slides. Thank you so much, Maria and Kirsty, for your time. Really appreciate it. And hopefully like that, we'll have lots and lots of client companies joining the programs in the autumn time. So really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
That's great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye now.
Bye.